Rewind the tape. Okay, that was really bad.
Welcome to week 2 of Wait, Rewind the Tape spooky season.
Even that actually scares me. I'm not making that sound again.
And let's not talk too much about spooky things because, as you know, with last week, we spooked ourselves out and got way too scared.
Yeah.
And I did have to, I don't know what I did to unscare myself, but it was probably just like glue my eyes to the TV watching something silly like Modern Family so that I didn't,
Modern Family is so good for you can just watch. I've never watched the whole thing. Just jump into any episode. It's good for a distraction watch.
Off,
yeah.
Turn your brain off. You're not going to get too scared. It's fine. Exactly.
Fine.
But
you don't even need to know what's going on.
We're not having anything too spooky.
I was terrified. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Apologies in advance. You guys might be able to hear Mango barking, but what's new? We're going to talk about Death Becomes Her. More on that later.
Can we quickly discuss the title?
Yeah.
Even though you just said more on that, literally, you're like, more on that later. I'm like, well, hang on a second.
I got something to say.
I thought it was like, Death Becomes Her, as in Death becomes her. But
she looks good in death, or no, like it's becoming of her.
Like she looks good in death. I did not get that until I watched it. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's just that I don't, because this is the second time I've watched it. I watched it first many years ago. And like it is a satire, right? I'm not wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Yeah.
I have a lot to say about
Death Becomes Her, but
as in she looks good, Dad. Oh, Death is so becoming of her. I didn't get it was like that. I thought it was like trying to be poetic, but saying she becomes Death.
Well, I also didn't think that it was going to be like a satire. West Mango. No, I didn't think it was going to be a satire on like the eternal pursuit of youth. And beauty. When I first
Josie and the Pussycats, isn't it? Like I'll be like, it's so frivolous, and then I'll reference it. I'd reference Josie and the Pussycats to myself today. I was like, God, that film.
Were you going to say Pussycats?
Don't ever do that because only Tweety Bird can say that. Tweety Bird really gave nothing. Tweety Bird was just cute and iconic because we all liked the way Tweety Bird looked.
So the cat
was getting bullied,
shitted on. He was shat on constantly. Yeah. I feel for him, actually.
Same.
Yeah. Anyway. Is that all you have to say on the title for now?
Yeah,
we'll do a really quick hey, how are you? How was your week? Before we then get into what we've got to say.
Okay. So, hey, how are you? How was your week?
Oh, me. It was fine. It was okay.
All the emotions that ran through your face, and then you were like, yeah, it was fine.
Okay, so I'm going to pull a Ruth where I am going to say that, there's, some things that not like good or bad things, kind of, I guess, neutral things, but roller coaster things for me that I actually don't really need to or want to talk about even off air right now.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say that I'm fine and it was fine. If you think about what I was doing on Saturday evening.
Okay.
If you get the reference.
That was a joke, but you know what?
No, but I was, yeah.
How was that?
It was amazing. Very, emotive. The music is amazing. It was
How many people are in the orchestra when you go to these things? Is it
It's a full orchestra, and they have a full choir as well.
A choir?
For Half-Blood Prince, there was a choir because in the movie literature compositions, there's vocals.
So just to explain to listeners, you can actually, I don't think it's always festive times, I'm guessing, that they do this? Or is it just now?
Yes. For Harry Potter, it's now. Every year, all throughout the season, Royal Albert Hall do films in concert. But during at this time, they always do a Harry Potter movie. So at the moment we're cycling through them. So we've had Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Next year will be Deathly Hallows Part 1. And they play the movie and they have a live orchestra doing the music along. So it is incredibly powerful.
I bet they do Psycho for Halloween. And
Not this year.
Never sat through that film, so I would like to see it with a full orchestra. I used to be so, this is so silly. When I was young, I used to be so jealous when I watched like an old film. You know, some old films would have scenes. There's one film in particular, I can't remember what it's called, where they're in the cinema and there's like a full orchestra. Because that's just how they watched films.
Oh, way back when, yeah.
And I used to be like, oh my, I used to be so jealous. Like, I can't believe that's real.
Well, yeah, now it is. I did see a few years ago Jurassic Park, which was incredible. And if anybody knows me, and maybe you guys know me well enough by now to know that the John Williams Jurassic Park score is one of my all-time faves. So that was amazing. That was good. I do recommend it.
If they did Prince of Egypt, you would.
Don't. But I mean, I guess it's like the stage show, so I would still be there. Don't get me wrong.
You're like, I've experienced it, and I'll experience it again.
Yeah. But I guess the animated movie is somewhat different. It's just like a different feeling and vibe to a stage show. Yeah, you know,
very, very different.
They just serve different purposes. Yeah.
Because you have
the stage show also has different like songs in it as well.
I'm just going to be a hater and say sometimes I'm not saying I want to see.
No, I agree, but kind of. Don't give me the original stuff.
Not just that. I just feel like sometimes, for me, and obviously I don't go to the theatre all that much, and I think that means that I just don't have the patience for a bad song. I just don't.
True. Especially when it's something that you already know. If you don't know the musical, you don't know the songs at all, then everything's new, so it's fine. But if you already know the score from an adaptation so well, there is a lot less room in your heart for new stuff, because if it's not good, you're like, oh God. Especially if they don't play all of the old, like the original music. 100%. Do not swap out some of the old stuff for this new crap.
And if you're going to try and do new, I think there's so many interesting ways. Like, you know, people who do like good, like, sorry to use the example, I can't think of anyone else because I feel like I just keep talking about Ariel. Chloe and her Halle.
Yes. Yeah.
When they do like live versions of their songs, they might switch it up a bit, but they'll do like, it's still the essence of the song. Like, you still get the song, and then maybe they'll do something different to make you know that it's live.
Oh, yeah,
it's like new.
Yeah, different composition, but it's
that
the same lyrics.
Yeah. Me. Yeah. Don't fuck it up and start giving me what Simon, who has been dreaming of doing this since he was 15 in his room, has written. Like, I don't care. And I say Simon because probably because of what's his face. Simon just feels like a really famous theatre name. Anywho, what was I going to say? Oh, my week was fine, and I went to watch Woman King, and I have to talk about John Boyega. I'm so sorry. I went to watch Woman King, and I want to talk about a man. That is why I'm not seeing heaven. But it's not because, I'm not going to lie, guys. The only reason I want to talk about this real quick before we get into the film, I'm not going to spoil it because it just came out.
This is not that we are not feminist, but this is why this is not a feminist podcast. We do not profess to be a feminist podcast because we talk about shit like this. Yeah.
And we objectify people. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But before we get into the performances, let's get into John Boyega sitting down in that robe. The way, oh my God. I'm sorry.
The way it draped, the way it was cut.
It wasn't just, I know it wasn't just me. It was very distracting. I was
Is there a Twitter account for John Boyega's robe?
No, that's the story.
But is there a Twitter account for the robe? Because there should be. And if there isn't, Ruth,
a Tinder profile.
Maybe you should set that up.
Costume was phenomenal. He was. Anywho, the film is good. It's a historical drama and it's purely action. So for me, sitting through it's not, to be fair, it's not as long as like fucking Marvel, thank God, but it's still like 2.5 hours. And you know me, like if I'm going to watch a long film, I like to be at home. Like I know a lot of films are long now. It's just I don't have the stamina. Like fall out a little bit.
I do not have the bladder strength in the cinema.
I had to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
But I did time
because you're
well.
obviously going there and you probably like, if I'm going to cinema now, I'll have a glass of wine. I can't not.
How did you?
I mean, I could not, obviously, but you're going to have something. It's not, which means
you're going to have like
I
a
need
soft
to go to
drink,
the
water.
toilet. It's just, it gets silly.
Yeah. But if you time it right, you can go at a good time. I was saying to the person I went with, my friend Toby, I was like, now they're having films this long. I'm not saying they should have like a full interval.
An intermission.
Something like just a bladder
They do
break.
that in the Royal Albert Hall ones.
Okay.
But I guess that's also to give the orchestra a break.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just think that, I know no one else would really like that, but I just feel like for me, it doesn't have to, I think they can keep the lights dim. It doesn't have to be like a big thing because, it'll be a long
like a toilet break.
Toilet. Yeah.
That's the only problem is that you might not, cinemas don't tend to have enough toilets.
This is the
for
crazy
everybody
thing.
Flocking at an intermission,
Yeah, for sure. We went to like the small one instead of going into the city.
Yeah.
So it was just us and 2 other people in the whole cinema. And it was like, it wasn't the day it came out, it was the day after. And obviously they've been in Birmingham and I'm sure they have in London. They've been running, Odeon had the film. So if you have Odeon Plus, you've been able to go and see it. Because we were like contemplating, should we just get it? And then we were like, let's just wait. It was like a week we had to wait. It wasn't even that long. But yeah, I would recommend it. And I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but like, obviously Viola Davis plays the lead. But there's someone else who I feel like I do not know her name. The person I went with knows her. I hope I'm not wrong. I want to say she's South African. But she's very, very good in it. But it's crazy because she plays a 19-year-old. Guess how old she is? And convincingly. 31.
30, okay.
I was like, honestly, when I found that out, I was like, and this is cynical me. So I thought, she's probably 26. 31. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think we could play 19-year-olds and it would be believable.
I 19. I think I could do 21. I could not do 19, honestly.
I think we could.
Her name is Thuso Umbadu. Oh, she's definitely seems like a Southern African name. I don't know if I'd say South Africa, but definitely a Southern African name. But yeah, it's a very, very good film. I'm not going to talk too much because I want to ruin the film. So we'll talk about it in a few weeks.
Okay.
But like I said, if you're going, like it is a historical drama that's action-based. And by that, I mean, there's no sex. So you have to have stamina. I'm just going to be honest, with historical dramas, you might not notice, but if you think about like the difference between when you're watching Game of Thrones and you're watching now House of Dragon, the sex makes picks up the pace. It really breaks it up. When there's no sex and you're watching a drama, you really have to focus. Everyone's going to think I'm insane for saying that out loud. But
yeah, sorry, because I've watched things where even when there is sex, I'm like, but it's just.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like freakness. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the cast are very attractive. Like the villain is attractive.
Oh, so that's why you were like, I need a sex scene here. Because you guys are hot.
It's an action historical drama. It kind of, there's something about those films that just lead to like a rise in tension where you just feel like
something needs to cut through this.
Yeah, and it's enjoyable. It's honestly such a relief to see. I know this is fucked up, but to see women beating up men, it is. I'm sorry. There's something about it.
Yeah.
and it made me realize how many films have I seen where it's like I don't think I've maybe it's because I don't watch enough films. I've never seen like an epic action where it's the women doing all of like fight scenes. I've never, with a predominantly women-led cast. I've never seen that ever. Gosh, I didn't think about that.
Pioneering.
And even though the story is like, it's a historical like action drama, so they just made all of that up. Like, it's loosely based in the truth. Like, the tribe of women are real, the warrior women are real. But the my mum's trying to sneak in and she's like, but the idea that they were helping is a lie. They were actually gathering people to be sold into slavery towards the end. I didn't realize I watched a documentary on it. When there's a documentary on it, you're just like dipping in and out. And I was like, isn't this that? And I was like, oh, yeah, I watched it. This isn't real.
This is vomiting.
But it's still like, who cares? Watch the film. Sorry to say who cares. I don't mean it like that. Obviously, I care. I just mean knowing that it isn't like rooted in fact doesn't ruin it. Sorry, Can we pause for a second?
I understand. Yes.
Hey guys, we're back. And I know this is confusing. I just want to explain that I could no longer be bothered with timestamps. So we used to cut out when we pause. Now we just leave it in. It's raw. It's real. And this is a feminist podcast. We believe in women's rights.
Let us state that we are feminists. It's more that we're not professing that this is, we're not talking about like all the feminist issues at hand and coming at things with the most like healthy feminist viewpoint when we speak, because we don't think about anything when we speak. We just speak on this podcast. If you want to hear our actual feminist views, then tune into our other podcast.
Women's Hour.
Please, we do not have
an hour for women because they are not a feminist podcast.
And on that vein, why don't we talk about
the least feminist film ever?
Depending on whether you are coming at it from a like take it as it is a viewpoint or a satirical viewpoint. Even from a satirical viewpoint, it is not. It's not. Okay. There's still a lot of things.
I do have one big question, and after this, I'll probably have nothing to say. How the F did they end up making the man who left his fiancé for her best friend the hero and the victim?
Yeah.
And do me a favor.
Yeah, bloody Bruce Willis. He's the hero that is not tempted by eternal life and eternal youth.
He learned the real lesson. And the thing is, it's so problematic when they're like, he went on to have loads of children. And he
found everlasting life and everlasting youth
in his kids.
In his death, in his kids, in all of you. Bullshit.
It was funny when he was like, we don't know much about his life before he turned 50. How can you meet someone who only a man could do that? That's so Donald Draper. Like, he just shows up, he's 50, he has no history, and he's just this is me.
Well, do you know what? It was pre-internet, so he could do what he wanted. He could scrub that.
Oh no, people are definitely moving towns and starting a new life.
Yeah.
To this day. Shout out to everybody listening under a false identity.
And if you're in witness protection, then I hope you stay safe.
I'm sorry. I've been brainwashed by mafia films. I'm like, no rats. And it's like,
oh, I see.
No, only because in mafia films and programs, it always makes it seem like the only people who go to the police have done terrible things, and they're like, I'm out. Do you know what I mean? It's like
That's so funny that's where when doing word association, if someone says to you witness protection, your immediate thought is rat. Grass. I'm like, this is somebody that needs protecting. They are like somebody's going to
victim
try
of the
to
judicial
hurt them.
system.
Yeah.
Imagine you're so, and I do think that most people who go into witness protection are like, in a way, like victims. They're not going to be like, they're part of it. I mean, I don't know, because I feel like if you're really deep in that world, to a certain extent, you can't really escape like legally. Like the police aren't enough to protect you. You have to do something a bit extra.
Exactly.
But I feel like if you are, sorry to anybody listening who's going through that, they're like, what? We don't know anything about anything, so don't take our word for it. But I feel like it's more for like, I don't know, a gardener, a partner who was trying to leave. Like, imagine if you're gardening in someone's house, like, and they happen to be like a boss of some underground,
right? And you witness something in the house when you're gardening. They turn and look at you. You're looking at them, and then you immediately go back to pruning the heads. But it's too late. They already know you've seen.
Now, this is an idea for a comedy. Zero research, just vibes. 0 out of 10 on IMDb. The first film to achieve this.
Is this based on lived experience? No. It's based on TV. Anyway, back to Death Becomes Her. So when was this film actually made?
I say the 80s.
Late 80s or early 90s?
Yeah. The fashion and the looks were beautiful.
I want to say that it's a 93, but it might be 92.
87. What?
Yes.
Oh my God, I am old, because then if that came out in 92 and it looks like that, shiver me timbers.
And I also wonder whether so the film stars Meryl Streep, who we love, Goldie Hawn, who I love, Bruce Willis, I also love, and Isabella Rossellini, who is also there. You know what? She's not like one of the main three. She's like an added extra. Where it's like, what? Like, you know, they throw in some like a big star.
I don't know her.
Isabella Rossellini. She's a big star. What's she been in? Couldn't tell you. No, Blue Velvet.
Heard of it. I haven't seen it. Sorry.
With I want to say
Patrick Swayze.
Somebody McDermott. You know, Trey from Sex and the City, and also he was in Twin Peaks. I think he's in Blue Velvet.
There was a white person called Trey, because I know there was only one black man in
Trey
Sex and the
McDougal.
City. I've never heard of a white person.
Charlotte's first husband.
His name was
wasn't it? Was.
His name was Trey.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me. I just always thought that was more of a black name. Now we're getting into racial stereotypes.
Sorry,
Hold on to your horses. Where will we go next?
The Scottish it was reclaimed by the
no white supremacy. I've had enough of that this week. Thanks.
Sorry. Okay. Right. So 1992. I wanted to try and do some research, but obviously I didn't get around to it. As to how well known in 1992 the cast would have been. I imagine it still would have been huge stars. They're still big stars then.
When they at their
or at least on their way to.
Well, yeah, Die Hard had been out. Die Hard had been out. Look at me, one of the lads. Hey. I feel like they were at their
at the peak. No, not quite at the peak. Die Hard was 88. So Bruce Willis definitely in his heyday.
They were all in their heyday.
Yeah,
sure.
True. So, and I was trying to think, what would this film be like if it were remade now?
Terrible. Straight to Netflix, and the cast was
definitely Netflix. I'm surprised I haven't bought this. But also, I just think, are there films that come out now where you've got actors of that caliber doing films
the resurgence
like
of romantic
that?
comedies?
Well, this isn't just a romantic comedy. It's like a
a satirical romantic comedy. I guess if they did it now, Alex Baldwin he can't do that anymore. I guess, sorry, I didn't, sticky, put it down. It's stuck on, I can't regain. Alec Baldwin in Sun Rock. 40 Rock. What's it called?
40 Rock.
Oh, okay. What's 40 Rocks from the Sun? 7 planets from the Sun.
Third rock from the Sun. Earth is, yeah. That's us.
Not Neptune. That is Neptune, right? The 7th. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then it's Uranus and Pluto. Yeah, correct.
Uranus. Still funny. Sorry, guys. I'm having a bad time at the moment.
Sorry,
that's my excuse.
Neptune is 8.
Who's 7? Saturn.
Okay, sorry. We've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Right? Or is it Neptune, Uranus, Pluto?
Neptune.
Oh my God.
Uranus,
I
Pluto.
Can't believe.
Pluto is no longer a planet.
Yeah, but we're just...
Or did they put it back? We always talk about this and I always forget. I feel like they put it back. They were like, no, psych.
No, I don't think it is a planet, but
it's an
in terms of the way
moon.
that we learned this. Okay. Yeah, Neptune is 9th. Yeah.
Neptune is 9th.
Yeah, so it's Saturn, then Uranus, then Neptune, and then if you believe Pluto is a planet, then Pluto. And yes, I had to Google to confirm that in my mind.
I'm so upset that I was wrong. I'm genuinely hurt.
Things like this are just slipping out of our brains. What can we do?
I'm worried about... Anyway, sorry. Guys, I'm going to tell you one of my fears. This has nothing to do with it.
And this is a brief pause to talk about our fears.
I need to take a picture, and the pose that I have... Okay, so the problem I'm having is... It's not a problem, because I love myself in a slightly uncomfortable way. No, I don't think that should be applauded. Vanity is supposed to be a sin.
Oh, it's not like self-love, it's vain love.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Too sexy for my shirt. That's why I like being naked. Basically, I need to do a pose. It's not my fault we live in a fat-phobic society, and obviously my body looks very different. So now when I do things I thought I could do, like would do before, because I'm still myself.
Yes, yeah.
Looks very different.
I understand. Yeah.
So it's just like I'm just genuinely worried that it will look too provocative and people will judge. I've always had an insecurity about the size of my thighs. Not because, no, that's a lie. I haven't had an insecurity. When I've seen my thighs pictured, they've always been much larger than I'd bargained
in your head, right? Yeah.
And so I don't mind it. But I mean, when I was very young, like maybe 19, I was always like, oh my God. But honey, thick thighs save lives. I'm a lifesaver. But I'm worried that I'll revert back to my 19-year-old self being like, my thighs are too big. And the reason I think my thighs are too big is because then it's like, to be honest, it was good old fashioned white supremacy. And just like the over sexualization of a Black woman's body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about that.
That is a very valid and real fear.
Why are we talking about this?
It's not a segue because it also ties into something that is very prevalent in this film, which is fat phobia. This film is hugely fat phobic. Like being fat and somebody being fat is like the butt of the joke, as if that is something that is to like be less than, and that is your rock bottom.
Do you know what's interesting about that? That is probably because normally if I was watching a TV show or a film, that would be a standout thing, like Monica from Friends or whatever, or Schmidt from New Girl. I didn't notice that's what they were doing. I just thought, you know, she was just, she did quote unquote let herself go, and then to use the fat to symbolize that. But that's the point, isn't it? That's really fatphobic.
That letting yourself go is to put on weight, therefore you're going to be lazy and slothful and not bother getting ready or getting washed, and you're just going to sit and vegetate. And
people don't realize this. Like, now I can honestly say, and I'm not just saying this, and obviously, like, there's still a body politics about this, of it depends, like, what size you are, how comfortable you feel at that size, because you may feel like you start getting fat shamed quick. So you can be like the average size, and people will constantly be fat shaming you. So you might be like, do you know what? I'm confident in my body. I don't care. But really, you're actually an average size. And if you were living in a fatter body, you don't know how that feels because of the societal pressure.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, like what I'm saying, it's slightly easy to say, but honestly, gaining weight is a very hot experience. I have never felt hotter. I can't lie to you. It's like I have the juice, the sauce, and the goods. Like,
it's all there to be ordered,
and I can eat. So, like, you're not going to make me feel. I don't care if I'm getting evicted.
Yeah,
I'm going to eat this.
Yeah,
but she obviously, that wasn't the point. It was supposed to make her look bad. But you're right. Also, when Meryl Streep's bum tightened when she took oh my God, we should start doing. That was funny. I can't lie. Her makeup, she looked
flawless.
After she took
gorgeous. Yeah,
she looked good.
Well, she looked like she looked at the beginning, which was just as she was younger. But it's not as if she looked terrible before when she was taking the potion. She still looked good.
And it showed that it was just makeup. So, guys, if you feel bad, underlying marketing messages. Buy some makeup.
Truly, yeah. Get on YouTube, learn how to do your makeup. Lord knows I won't.
And not
continue to feel bad. But...
Yeah, oh my God. You can't feel bad. Your makeup's always good. Do you still have that foundation I love?
I use Fenty Eavesdrops now.
Fenty Eavesdrops?
Yeah, but before it was a Becca foundation. I can't remember what it was, but...
Okay, Becca, that is...
It's good quality stuff. Yeah. But to be fair, so is Fenty.
Yeah, but that's not in dispute. Have you heard Sephora's coming to the UK? Finally?
I have heard, yeah. But then I thought,
do we need it?
Do we need it? Yeah, it's not.
That's so funny.
It's so like, oh my God, but we have all of
you don't need it
everything.
Anymore. When I wanted to, and it's so funny because somebody on Twitter, I wish I could credit the people who say that she left a scathing tweet. I was like, come on. She was like, basically, it's 10 years too late. And I was like, it's because of the landscape, the beauty landscape she said the beauty landscape in the UK is like no other. It's so competitive. It's 10 years too late.
We don't need it, as we don't need a physical store for it. Like we've got
it's going to be in Sephora when it
is like incredible. But most of my stuff I buy online anyway because I know what it is.
But I will say there is something, when I first went into Sephora, it is psychological. There is just something about the store that's fun that I'm like, if I go into Boots, for example, if I go into Selfridges, I'm lying. It's a makeup store in general. I always, when I go into a store that only sells makeup, I always spend more than I want to, if that makes sense.
But Sephora does skincare as well. It's not just makeup.
I didn't buy skincare there, but when I went into Sephora, I went crazy in a way that I never would. I'm a very tight person, guys. I just never would. You're not.
You got caught up in the hype. Yeah.
Even if you catch me slipping, I'm not spending that much money, and I'm still stressed about it. But Sephora is like, I was like, oh, I get it. Like I was just putting like they got the draw samples. I was trying everything. I was like, where's my color? I was just buying them. Like I was so happy afterwards. Like I
definitely understand what you mean. And it is a different we don't quite have that concept in the UK where it is just makeup and skincare. It's not, we don't have a pure beauty store.
No, but
we can get everything
like that in department stores. Oh
everywhere.
My God, department
store still has everything
else. It doesn't feel the same.
It isn't a specialist store.
Because when I used to, yeah.
Like, there are so many online retailers now as well that are based in the UK that do the same job, and you can get everything and you don't have to fucking leave your house, which I am not want to do.
That Sephora had and didn't have in the UK now, I feel like most of them are here now. So
I don't think there's anything that you can get, or there might be one or two things that you can get in.
There are still colorways, I will say, unless you go to Harrods. Not Harrods, sorry, what's it called? Not Harrods, same street.
Fenwick?
No. Harvey Nichols. Unless you go to the Harvey Nichols in London. Though I remember this, and maybe it's changed now, but this is like not that long ago, 2 years ago. It was after Fenty had launched a Boots. I don't know when that was. And there was something they'd released that was not available, but they had it on the Sephora website. So I wonder if they have all the stock that they have in America. They do have like exclusives, but they've Fenty's somewhere else now. So I wonder if they still get
it's those. At Harvey Nicks and Boots in the UK.
Outside the UK, it's somewhere else. It's
I don't know if it's outside the UK.
Yeah, I just mean
that used to me.
Oh, but I think it's owned by the same company that owns Sephora. Anywho, so sorry, guys, but it is a Beauty and Shallow special.
That is so true. Guys, look, if anybody hasn't watched Death Becomes Her, basically...
Oh, yeah, do a summary.
Yeah. The premise is about, I think it's a satire on particularly for women, the eternal search and also the societal pressure for eternal youth, and how much of our currency as women or as femmes resides in how young we look, how beautiful we are, how tight and toned we are, and once we start to lose all of that, then we lose all of our cachet, and that's it. We're not desirable to society, to men. It's also a comment on how fucking fickle men are, I think.
Really? I think it's more a comment on Hollywood and the falsities and fakeness of it all, and how it's obsessed with youth and appearance, and how it values that over the quality of life.
Yeah,
and then I also felt like it was shady to women, like basically saying that we're competitive, which we are horribly competitive. I love that about being a woman. I'm sorry, it's fun. I think that when women compete, it's always people think you're competing over like men or looks and but women are everyone's competitive. It's a natural human trait. It just doesn't fit into our gender stereotypes, so people get irritated when we're competitive. But yeah, it makes it seem like we're cruel, competitive, and it's like the standard trope that we deep down we all hate each other. Is it basically what happens in the film? There are two friends. One friend is at the beginning of the film engaged to a surgeon, which is like, it's like to this day, a plastic surgeon. So he's really got much money. She takes the surgeon to meet her friend. Her friend is a performer. It's like on stage. It's kind of like a cabaret vibe, but the audience is falling asleep during their performance. They're like it's kind of insinuated that it's like Miss Big Tits, but it's insinuated that they're getting like bored of her. Like it's like same old same. She's not getting good reviews, but that's Meryl Streep's character. And then the surgeon, who's Bruce Willis, sees her and he's like, hubba,
enamored.
And then his fiance Goldie Hawn takes him. Oh, look at me! This is the first time I've ever known 3 actors' names. Takes him.
If you didn't know those 3 names, I would be.
Please be serious.
Really
there is a
surprised.
Strong chance I couldn't. Let's be honest. There's so many famous actors who I'm just like, what is their name?
These aren't just famous actors, though. This is iconic actors.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. You're doing well. You're doing well. Keep going.
So Goldie Hawn takes her fiance backstage and introduces them. And then next thing you know, it's very obvious that they like fancy each other. Next thing you know, Goldie Hawn's fiance is getting married to Meryl Streep. Then you cut to Goldie Hawn, who's basically like, I shouldn't even say that. She's like in her apartment. She's eating ice cream. She's bitter. She's gained loads of weight. And the police are knocking on her door to evict her because she's behind on the rent. Then she goes to a psych ward. This film is so problematic.
It is so messed
But it's like all my favorite films are based in like single girl in an apartment, single girl on cycle. Do you know what I mean?
So this just amalgamates it basically.
Yeah.
But then, sorry, the nurse also getting fucking annoyed with her because she's not making any progress, not losing any weight, and she's still talking about the same, or like obsessing about.
Oh, I thought it was because she was triggering the other patients, but you're right.
I mean, I guess it could be, but that's not a professional thing to say to a patient.
I don't think it was. Was that like a beauty retreat?
No, it definitely wasn't. It was a award for sure.
Okay.
Because they're like, do you have anything to do? It's like, you know, they're doing group therapy.
Yeah. Random. And then so then we just like in that time where she's been doing all of that, Meryl Streep and her fiancé are now arguing. Her fiancé is now an undertaker. He's no longer a surgeon. Like he's fallen from grace. He still like has his assets. So he's still in this beautiful house. Meryl Streep has stopped working. You know, she's a city girl. She's living off him. She's going to spend it until he doesn't have it no more. And there's nothing he can do about it. He's resentful towards her. He hates her. He is now the victim.
And he's also given her everything. He's given her faith. He's, you know, done all of like, kept her young, done all this work on her to try it, you know, as she wanted and probably as he wanted.
Yeah. And she's like chasing, like she wants to have another procedure. She gets recommended to this woman who is essentially...
She's also having an affair with a much younger man.
Yeah.
Kudos to her.
He's kind of a dick, for sure.
True, absolutely. But you know, like she's living her life.
Oh, she's 100% living large. But she's not happy. And then basically she gets given a potion that means she'll live forever.
But before that,
what happens?
Goldie Hawn's character, I want to say Helen or Helena, she basically kind of comes out, it's like 7 years past, or I don't know, many years past, and then she comes back out of the woodwork and is
past.
And she is like stunningly gorgeous.
Beautiful.
She's, you know, super beautiful. She's got a, you know, a quote unquote great figure. I mean, she doesn't have a great figure, but you know, she's got this new book out that basically is a like a diet book or how I got back to being beautiful.
Oh, it's like a beauty book.
Yeah.
Which in the 90s was big money, let me tell you.
So she knows that she is going to play these two against each other.
Yeah, she's come for revenge. But she tells Meryl Streep,
hey, I don't blame you. I blame him for going to you. And then she tells him, I don't blame you. I blame her for seducing you.
Yeah.
I don't know why, for the first time ever, we're just doing a blow-by-blow account of the movie.
It's fun. I'm enjoying this.
I assume that you guys just maybe haven't watched it or haven't watched it for a while. So anyway, let's keep going.
Okay, so now Meryl Streep's toy boy basically tells her she's an old hag and she needs to get the fuck out of here. He doesn't say it like that. He gets caught with another woman. He's like, it's embarrassing. Don't you find it embarrassing? Yeah.
You know what people say about us?
We look ridiculous, but why does anybody know?
She does not really look like still looks incredible.
It doesn't make sense. But also like that's part of it. It's just like she's supposed to be old news. She's hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
She takes this potion so she'll live forever and it will return her back to her youth. But obviously, so no one gets suspicious, in 10 years she has to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of
as if they wouldn't already be suspicious. That she goes from like being 50-year-olds to 20.
Yeah, but come on, that's why people say celebrities drink children's blood to stay young. I'm like, guys, they're called fillers. Please relax. Oh my God. And Photoshop. Mostly Photoshop, to be honest.
True, yeah. Not even Photoshop.
Photoshop is like real.
An easier app. You don't even need Photoshop anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some of them are bad. The cartoon filter.
What's it? Meryl Streep is getting this potion. She's getting young. She's super happy. Meanwhile, Goldie Hawn and old Bruce Willis
is Goldie Hawn's fucking her husband, long story short. So
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn, in her revenge, she's gone back to her ex-fiancé, sleeps with him, and plots to murder Meryl Streep's character. Meryl Streep comes home. The plan is to murder her like in the next night, so it's not overly obvious. Bruce Willis loses his temper with her. So there's a bit of femicide in this, guys. This film really has everything. Pushes her down the stairs. Obviously, she breaks all her bones. I had to look away, even though it was really badly done. I still don't like stuff like that. And then it was giving The Staircase, if anybody's seen it, starring Colin Firth, which is actually a true story. So I shouldn't say it like it's just a fun show. It's a true story. And then Goldie Hawn calls. She's like, what have you done? He's like, I've killed her. Meryl Streep basically gets up. Her body's all mangled, but she's still alive because she can live forever, which is where we now realize that even though they can live forever, injuries still have an effect.
Yeah, their bodies will fall apart.
Yeah. So then he takes her to the hospital. He's like, it's a miracle, because essentially what we realize is she's dead. She's medically dead.
She has no heartbeat. She's cold as ice. She's willing to sacrifice, and more on that later.
What version though?
I didn't plan this. That was just off the top of my head, guys.
That was funny. So yeah, long story short, they're all in the house somehow. They're all fighting. Goldie Hawn tries to kill her again. She can't be killed. Then Meryl Streep's character shoots Goldie Hawn. She falls into the pool. That's when we realise Goldie Hawn has also taken this potion.
Yeah, shock.
Yeah. Drama
Meryl Streep wasn't like, hold on a second, there's no way you could have gone from 50 to looking like this without a potion.
But the thing is, they didn't really look that much older. They just looked really good afterwards. Like, but it just seemed like a really good makeup. Anyway. But yeah. So now they have a hole in their body, but luckily their husband is now an undertaker. He can fix them up with like spray paint and stuff to make them look like new. They want him to take the potion so he can live forever, so he can always fix them up.
And this is where it starts getting...
This film is ridiculous. Okay, so now they're
this is just where they start to like try and like shoehorn integrity into the man where there before was none, and that's why
doesn't make sense.
Stupid to me. But carry on.
Because okay, so just I'll make it really quick. He refuses to take the potion. He escapes. They think he's fallen to his death because he refuses to take the potion, but he falls through a stained glass window into a swimming pool and lives.
Yeah.
P.S. Marilyn Monroe and Elvis are also at the party. Leave Marilyn Monroe alone, for goodness sake. And Andy Warhol was there as well.
Oh, God, I didn't even notice. I didn't notice the other people in the...
Yeah.
Okay.
If it was now, it would have been Tupac there. I was like, where's Tupac? Then I was like...
He was probably alive. Still alive at that time.
Yeah. And I also thought this was the late 80s, so I was like, he was alive. And also, this is the whitest film ever. So
truly, yeah.
Not even a single non-white hand was shown on screen. But so that's the end. Then the final scene is Bruce Willis's funeral, because he's such a pious man. He has this giant religious funeral with all his children and his grandchildren that he aged at 50, and the priest basically talks about how he found eternal life in the lives of the babes around him, the children, and all the children he fathered outside of his marriage, joking all of his adopted children in the world in the Christian sense, which always gives me the creeps, to be honest, but whatever. And then you hear two women arguing at the back. It is, of course, Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, who have lived forever, but their bodies have completely disintegrated. And
without the Undertaker husband, they don't really have a professional to put them back together in the same kind of like masterpiece artwork style that they're used to. So they're trying to touch each other up.
Yeah, their skin is all like, it's just basically like if someone had been like gluing themselves back together after years and drawing on their face on. So they just look awful. They fall down the stairs, they break all their bones, they get decapitated, and they're still alive. And
but basically they're like mannequins at this point. And they just smash into pieces.
The reason it doesn't really make sense is because everyone else at the party...
tell me why.
The science
why doesn't it really make sense?
Everyone else at the party who had like who had also taken this potion. It was like a massive party where everyone had taken this potion. Everyone was fine. So it's only them that managed not to take care of their bodies and were just, their lives were filled with such calamity. But then again, they did hate each other. So, but still.
Yeah, they got, one of them fucking got a shotgun out. So
yeah. But still, it's like, okay. Unless the moral of the story is hate ages you, even if you can live forever. But I thought it was supposed to put you off the idea of living forever. I thought it was also like a joke about plastic surgery and people's obsession with like looking young.
Yeah,
but because
definitely.
It was focused on these two women and their competitive friendship, even though they were the leads for sure. And it is satire and it's like, it is a silly, fun film, if that makes sense. But like making him the victim when he was the one who left his fiancé, even though she stole his boyfriends in the past, you know, like the one friend had stolen the other friend's boyfriends in the past, making him like the person who was wise enough to get away makes it seem as though it's just like a
women
Hollywood
being
problem.
silly.
It's a women problem. Like, you guys are so silly and shallow, and it doesn't really deal with the pressure that women are under to look like tens. Sorry.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's not the point. It was the 90s and it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah. And, you know, like it was, I think it was it was an okay film to watch because also because of the actors in it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, phenomenal. Whereas if you just had the kind of actors that would play it now in a straight to Netflix movie, it would, come on. Sorry, but it just wouldn't be like, you just see all of the, maybe it's wrong that I'm saying that. I'm not trying to sugarcoat the problems or gloss over them, but
if they kept the man as an arsehole, I don't think that would have been a problem.
True, it was, let's make him
then it's just like, they are
the righteous man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only one with the ability to change. The other two actually got more evil.
But they just played it well.
Yeah.
I think they're just good actors, Meryl and Goldie.
And I definitely am obviously on their side because I think I'm the woman at the back right now because I'm like, I was at his funeral rolling my eyes to him like, please, this guy.
Yeah. No one's buying this.
No one.
Sorry.
But honestly, if nothing else, watch it for the aesthetic. Sorry. They're nice. And it's one of those like, I don't know, like cult films that you will inevitably reference in your mind. Like it will influence you. It just will.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch it again.
Yeah, the outfits are amazing. Also, I just think there's a particular like awkward physicality that Goldie Hawn has that's almost like a physical comedy in the way that she moves her body.
Yes,
I just
100%.
like absolutely love about her.
Yeah.
Like she's sexy undoubtedly, but it's in a really like an awkward way that she plays on. Like that kind of like
she the original quirky girl.
Yeah.
I feel like she's almost too hot to be the
true. Yeah, but then look at the quirky girls.
No, they're all beautiful. Yeah. You kind of have to be. But I just mean like Goldie, not to objectify, but goddamn. Not to objectify, and then says the most ludicrous thing. Oh, what a time to be alive. Do you have anything else you want to say about this film in particular? We'll probably talk about it more later. I
actually don't think so, because I didn't really take, I didn't take any notes on it because I figured,
it would make an amazing music video as well, if anybody wants to do a parody.
True, yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Halloween parody.
But at the end, in my version, the women would join up and kill the man. Sorry, that's not funny. Guys, that's not funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just really wasn't really all that.
Him? He was a dick.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why did he stop being a surgeon? Because he had a drinking problem.
Maybe he got struck off, so he could only work with.
Sorry.
He could only work with dead people.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't. I will admit I wasn't like fully paying attention because I have seen it before.
Which is more reason to like understand Meryl Streep's frustration. Yes, she's a gold digger. Yes, she stole her friend's fiancé. But God damn it, she wanted to marry a surgeon and she ended up with an alcoholic. I'm not joking. I'm sorry. Everyone has problems, especially surgeons.
But again, of what I was saying before about how it just underlined how fickle he was. As a man, it was like, oh, let me go to this shiny new thing. Oh, wait, let me go back to my old shiny new thing. Oh, wait,
yeah,
actually,
he just goes
like,
to whoever's
my
the
other
hottest.
person, yeah, whoever's the hottest or who is like
attainably hot.
Sort of like just there. to stake their claim.
Yeah.
He's just like dumb and stupid.
Yes.
Which are the same things, but I don't know why they were so obsessed with. And I guess it wasn't him that they were actually fighting over in the end.
They were
it was more just
other.
like each
they
other.
They were always fighting each other.
Because they were always, at loggerheads. But okay, actually one thing. So when we get to like the crux of the rivalry, Goldie Hawn's family is obviously, she's from a well-to-do family, from money, who was friends with Meryl Streep's character, but Meryl Streep was never invited to the big fancy country club get-togethers. So that's why Meryl Streep's like, you always thought I was cheap. And Goldie Hawn's like, you always hurt, like you hurt me on purpose by always taking away the people that I loved.
But they were the ones leaving you. Why didn't you just end the friendship? Why are you coming now to anyway? So
yeah, but what's the fact that is somebody thinking that you like having a stupid bigoted opinion?
Are you saying is someone looking down at you for having money?
Like,
can you then
justify to be like,
no,
I won't hurt you intentionally?
No, but even if you do that once, fine. But if you intentionally hurt someone more than once, if you steal someone's boyfriend more than once, you're not friends. Also, the fact that Goldie Hawn was like, I wanted to do the test, like her way to test her fiancé is to take her around that woman and see if she can steal her. Of course you can.
Yeah, well then your husband is weak. Come on.
Weak, he is hot.
Maybe you also you're attracted to the weak men and you have a type and you need to break that cycle.
No, it's more fun to fight. Yeah. Her character progression makes little to no sense too. But it's always fun to watch a woman have a breakdown. I can't believe I said that out loud. Is what I thought.
Multiple breakdowns in this movie.
Oh my God.
At various points for each character. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say on the movie. Do you? Oh, actually, apart from like, I love that quintessential potion bottle,
The potion itself was lush. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, that's stereotypical. This is like the
I'm a
blueprint for a potion.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And it glowed.
Can't lie. It did. It was like iridescent, sparkly,
one
pearly.
of my favourite colours.
But yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Me too. Watch the
Would
film,
you
guys.
recommend? Yeah, so there you go. I recommend watching it.
I feel like you have to. I feel like it's the kind of thing you just have to watch to reference, if nothing else.
Agreed.
House
of Dragon?
Yes. Okay, guys, we're going to discuss House of Dragon very quickly to end off the podcast.
Episode 8, with reference to probably a lot of the episodes.
So there will be spoilers. So I'm afraid if you do not want to hear them, it's time to say goodbye. Sorry. That's my Andy from The Office voice. For someone who hated The Office, I talk about it a lot. Embarrassing.
You love The Office.
I hated it at first. Hated it. I was just like, you're a bunch of losers. How are you watching a show about people working? I still don't love The Office. I just have a lot of love for The Office.
Okay, stop right now. House of Dragon. By the way, guys, we do have scheduled in this season an actual episode dedicated to House of Dragons. What we will talk about in that episode, I don't know, because we cannot stop talking about it every week.
I have so much to say, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll find. But yeah.
We'll still do it, yeah.
As soon as the series ends, the very next episode, God willing, will be House of Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
No. Every time I see that, I'm like, stop calling it that. It's wrong. Change the titles everywhere. HBO, retract it, and please be serious. House of the Dragon. Why? House of Dragon. Done. House of the Dragon. Unnecessary word. I stand by this. Honestly, every time I see it, I get annoyed. I'm like, that's not what it's called.
I don't disagree with you.
House of the Dragon.
But that is what it's called.
No, but why? House of the Dragon. They're all dragons. House of Dragon.
Sorry, then it should be dragons.
No, House of Dragon is fine.
Okay. Anyway, what do you have to say about this week?
Oh, first, I just have to say, bring me my grandson. Will always be one of my favorite phrases. Okay, so obviously we've just watched episode 8. We think King V is dead, but there were just a few, like, you know, it was like a funny-ish episode.
He definitely died at the end.
Now we're actually round to
this episode was like a real
mess.
Modern Family does Game of Thrones episode. You know what I mean?
Modern Family, if they all married each other.
Exactly. And like when they all gather around to have dinner at Jay's house.
I'm sorry, but one thing that really did make me laugh was when it was announced, sorry, I still don't know their names, that Damon's children and Rhaenyra's children were to be married. And they were all like, it was just announced and they were like, oh, like, smiling, right, yeah. Like, yeah. It's like, if somebody tapped you on the shoulder and was like, you're marrying your stepsister, you're like, woo! No,
but they'd already planted the seed that they liked each other in the previous episode where they all ganged up on, I don't know what he's called,
I'm sorry,
but the guy that they...
That is so romantic to me. Ganging up to beat the crap out of someone who's being disrespectful.
Shit, who steals the dragon and is disrespectful and you take out his eye.
He didn't steal the dragon. He didn't. He claimed it. I genuinely don't think he stole that dragon.
I just don't feel like it was like his to claim, and I wish the dragon had burnt him or dropped him. Yeah,
we all wish the dragon had dropped him because I already hated that kid.
Yeah,
he was punching little girls. Just because he's hot and I'm physically attracted to him does not mean that I'm not going to hate him. Yeah, he's like
the way he looks at Uncle Damon.
Appealing.
Yeah. The other guy, his older brother, looks younger than him and is really irritating.
That doesn't make sense. But the only thing I will say is he has the weirdest face and head. He has, this is no shade to the actor because it wouldn't look like that in your normal hair. I've seen a picture of him. He doesn't look like that. He looks like a fucking bean. Like a long bean.
I think he also looks like an anime drawing.
I literally saw, was it about, I'm sure it was about that. This is the most anime face I've ever seen on Game of Thrones. And it was him.
Thank you. Yes, totally.
Don't say that, because now they're going to cast him as like...
Oh, yeah. How? Yeah. No.
I enjoyed, he is doing too much though. No one is that weird. That weird. No one's in the middle of the fight and they turn around like, cousin. Like, all right, chill out.
Yes, I did see you there.
We get it. You're a creepy girl.
Yeah, we know that you have like heightened senses.
Oh, I do want to drop what I think will be a spoiler. I think this happens. Do not confirm or deny based on the family history that for some reason everyone has read but me.
No one's read it. I'm
not just talking about the book, but they have.
No, I promised you they haven't because that book is not readable.
I was listening to someone talk about it today. They've read it.
It's not a novel. It is literally, I've said this before, it's not readable. It's so...
it's a table of contents. It's a bibliography.
It is exactly like so-and-so whose son is so-and-so. And you know the names all sound the same.
They're all called Aegon.
Exactly.
week.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Sorry, but Rhaenyra isn't shit because she called her bastard strong names. And then she called her Targaryen children. Sorry, I don't literally mean bastards, guys. I'm obviously joking. She called her strong babies strong names and her Targaryen children Targaryen names. Like, why are you giving the game away? Who's Jace? What kind of Targaryen name is Jace?
Yeah, exactly. No, but Jace, that has to be a shortened name. Jace and Luke are not the full names. But what are the full names?
Yeah, but they're obviously like medieval Old English Hebrew names kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean? They're obviously named by their father. Can you please be serious? Can you please be... She doesn't give a heck. And I love her. She's like, baby daddy, what are we calling this one? He's like, Jake.
Now my actual Targaryen kids are going to be called Viserys and Aegon.
And the classic Aegon.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving this planet without an Aegon. But it's sweet, but I don't know that... Viserys loves all of his grandchildren and doesn't care and kind of respects the fact that she's the queen and she can do what she likes. And
yeah,
also,
but just like Corlys Velaryon says, history does not remember blood, it remembers names.
Like Jace.
And Luke, yeah. And Joffrey.
No, Joffrey's like fine. But it is a very like Westerosi name. It's not very old Valyria, is it?
True.
I'm just saying it made me laugh because I was thinking, I was like, you aren't shit. You're not even trying to hide it. But another thing that wasn't bugging me as much before, how could Alison raise her children to hate their nephews? And I do feel like she instilled that hatred in them because they're bastards or whatever. Like, think about how hateful that is to say to somebody.
Totally,
these children
100%.
are not legitimate. You should, like, she's raised her children to hate their own blood.
Yeah.
That's sick. And look how messed up they are now. So that's what you get.
And it's like they are still Targaryens.
Exactly.
So it's
even
not
if they're
not
Targaryen, that's so, like, they're still her children.
Your sons are only half Targaryen if we're getting like down to it.
Yeah, if you want to take that little star-cross off for 5 minutes and deal with the facts, freak. Not you being a religious fanatic. Lord, give me strength. But another thing that annoyed me, it was a very good episode, only because King Viserys and his half face, what a performance. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Hats off. Hats half and hands clapping.
Yeah.
What a performance.
And him just being like, hey, I'm backing these guys. So you can all fuck off.
To the death of me. He's like, I will climb out my deathbed.
Slicing off the Valerian, Mr. Valerian's head.
That made
but
me
leaving his fucking tongue.
This is the problem with black people in white shows, because now I have to watch this Aryan bastard slice off this black man's head.
So now we know, I guess, how the Targaryens are just going to wipe out the Valerian bloodline.
But, okay, this annoyed me. The uncle was doing all that rah, rah, rah. Yes, technically, that guy isn't your blood and he's inheriting your castle. But do you know who else is inheriting your castle? Your literal great niece. So please relax. Is she not good enough?
Well, that's only if at that point, but prior to him staking his... the betrothal happened after him.
But okay, so it's just been announced. So take the L. It's just been announced. You're like, okay, that's annoying, but it works. It works for everyone. It's not what I wanted. They're not going to kick me out. It's not like I'm homeless. I'm still money bags.
I'm also on my way out in terms of life expectancy, and I can give my actual bloodline.
I think he just wanted the big castle. Yeah.
It was principled. Yeah.
He was like, no Caucasian child is sitting on my It's also like the brotherly competitiveness, which hates in Game of Thrones. that other guy burned his family alive. I do not believe that it's anything to do with it. Yeah, but it was all funny, all good. Oh, and I'll be really sad.
It does continue to be funny how everyone is like, no, these are Leonore's sons.
It's like, no, it's more like you can't say that. Like, you actually cannot look me in my face and tell me that they're not my children. That's insane behavior. Imagine if you were at a family barbecue and there were two children who look nothing like their father, and you're there shouting across the family barbecue. They're not. That's insane. You can't do that. Mind your own business.
True, but it's like
what's your business?
Makes you laugh, but right area is just like,
go to bed, boys.
Where they
go to your quarters. Every 5 minutes, she's like, "Listen, kids, go to your quarters."
You've done enough mischief. Please, go to bed, all of you.
Oh God.
The aging again doesn't make sense to me.
Why?
With the younger generation now, I
think that we just have to.
It
is what it is. It is what it is. That was It Is What It Is by Blood Orange.
Well, don't you think it was a bit? I think it was a bit mean that Jace, when the music started playing, didn't ask his betrothed to dance, and he just went straight for his cousin, who was married to his other cousin. Uncle,
on his knees for his betrothed. Like, it's fine. That is exactly how he. Like,
I agree, but then if I were the betrothed, I'd be like, to me, she looked a bit sad, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I think she was a bit like.
Okay, I want to say something that is potentially a spoiler. Don't confirm or deny if you do know this. I think when Little Miss Psychic plays with insects was like something about being like the beast beneath. They obviously meant the giant dragon beneath is going to kill Jace.
Oh.
Yeah. R.I.P.
But I mean, I guess technically, really, because how is Rhaenyra and Daemon, or Daemon at least, not going to want one of his kids to ascend the Iron Throne?
No, Daemon doesn't give a heck. He's been backing it the whole time. He does not care. He just does not care.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I guess you're right. But they.
He's not like that. He just
the line must fall through the Targaryen line. I don't think it's going to go through.
But he's a Targaryen, as we've discussed. He's half Targaryen. Even if he marries his cousin, they're still between them. Not his cousin, sorry, his stepsister / second cousin. I don't know.
Yeah, they both have half their Valyrian blood, so they'd still be half going to.
She's fully Valyrian.
Sorry, Valyrian. That's why Targaryen.
Between them, there's a Targaryen there, and then that Targaryen marries their other Targaryen cousin. I'm sure they'll. Do you know what I mean?
I guess they keep it. Yeah, and maybe this is the way that they keep it diluted enough, so it's not like we only get to the Mad King quite a few more generations down the line. I don't know.
You do have to mix it up genetically. You can't do that. My cousin was saying that. She was like, how are they all so? I was like, this feels like it's going to enter a problematic conversation, and I don't want to be a part of it. But
true, they do have the Valyrian blood.
We're saying that while the king is literally, his face is falling off. We're like, that's fine.
He has no eye, and his we can see his teeth through his cheek. So
want you to see me. Oh God!
I don't need to eat now, thanks, Dad.
I think he must know that his children
coming off him as well. Must be
a lot. But he has those air diffusers everywhere. Must be nice. The cobwebs over what I hate stuff like that. I'm sorry, I hate stuff that is very much like in the director's comments. You know, when they have the cobwebs over his giant like thing of Westeros to show that It's
the decay of his mind.
Over the season, he's been building it. When we see a large progression, we can tell how much time has passed, and now we see it's finally decaying. It's like, we get it. Fuck off.
There's also meant to be something particular in his mask. I didn't click on the link.
The Phantom of the Opera.
I'm not sure if it's that, but I think there's some significance with the mask or something, or maybe there's a continuity. Oh, but I don't know.
As my cousin would say, he's halfway to death.
The fans have pointed out, death o'clock, half past death, quarter to death.
Every time she says that, it takes me out. But yeah, at first I was like laughing at him because it's so funny watching him get older and older and just refuse to die. But then I'm like, no, he's not old. He's like 60 or whatever. And he essentially has, I don't know if he has an autoimmune disease. That's wrong. He doesn't, does he?
Well, who knows what he's got? He's got something that is gnawing away at his body. Could be cancerous. It could be, we don't know. But it's tumors. It's some made-up medieval sickness. He's not got tumours. It could be fucking leprosy. I don't know.
No, that's contagious.
True. But it's, I don't know, some Westerosi disease, something. And it is a disease, the fact it's a chronic illness that he has been living with for like 16 years more than, and is still going, if not strong, he's still going.
It's insane how old he looks compared to how old he is. It's insane.
When everybody around him is also just not aging, really.
Yeah, Damon has looked the same.
The same as it ever was.
He said, "You ain't switching me out, honey. I'm the star here." Oh, God. No, but I think I
read somewhere that he was saying that he thought that his sex scenes in House of the Dragon were a bit much. And I'm like, mate, you were lucky you weren't casting Game of Thrones if that's what... It's like... barely any sex scenes in House of Dragon compared to...
well, we haven't got to the end, but I think he meant, maybe it looks like he's
in the den and with the... Yeah.
That's not great.
It's not, but he is. So I don't know what, like, that's
live
exactly
with it,
what's happening. So if you thought that it looked bad, then you shouldn't have taken the role.
But I did think this is obviously using messed up Westerosi logic, because ultimately they're both wrong for what they did, because I felt like she was young and impressionable, but whatever. I know she wanted to, I'm not saying she didn't consent, but it's just like, she seemed, I know she was supposed to be 17, but it almost felt like the way they portrayed her, she was a bit innocent. So I was just like, is she 17? But whatever. But what I'm saying is, isn't it funny that we thought Damon was a villain and then he went to sleep with his niece and he couldn't do that to her outside of marriage?
Yeah.
He couldn't do it to her because he had honour in that way. Whereas Sir Lancelot over there, who we all thought was so honourable, did it and then got fucking annoyed.
Yeah. Resented her because she had a duty to marry in line with her.
Yeah, and if you're so moral, then you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you left your position to have sex with her.
Please be serious. You broke your vows for that princess.
And now you're effing and blinding about all of her morals and whatever.
A weird guy.
Yeah.
Very weird guy.
Sounds Kristen. I had hopes for you, but...
And what about that homophobic attack? Because what was that about? Killed, I've already forgotten his name. I've learned three names. I've learned.
Yes, he
what was that about?
Leonor's. I don't know if it was because he knew the secret that Kristen had relations with, and nobody else knew. It's just that guy obviously is very intuitive and knows something of the world, so he could see the looks that were going on. He was like, "Hey, here's the juice. You do your princess and I'll do mine."
And that made him so angry he killed him. That's a sign of a serious bigot.
Yes. Well, and as it played out, he hates women. He hates
Joy.
He hates gay people. He hates himself, probably.
I wish he'd hate himself from further away.
Well, he did. never mind.
He did what?
I was going to say he was going to do the honourable thing.
No, he
and then
wasn't.
Alison was like,
which was
no.
kill himself.
Okay, well, I don't.
Sorry, unalive himself. That was not the time to do the honourable thing. The honourable thing would have been not to. Anyway, whatever.
No, I agree. It's just like he's a messed up guy. That's
who you have training your son. Like, no wonder he's a rapist. No shade. Why did I say no shade?
All the shade to that idiot. He's awful.
He doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, but that scene was not given.
Yeah.
Because you just raped someone. Why? Sorry to anybody if maybe you should. I hope you guys know that Game of Dragons, whatever, is just generally a messed up show. So we're going to talk about things without trigger warnings and stuff. So sorry. But it's like, if you've just done that and you're like, I didn't ask for this, what has that got to do with anything? It's not the pressure on your shoulders that made you do that. You would have done
it regardless.
That's who you are. That's what you're choosing to do, because it was violent and continuous behaviour. It's not even, fuck you. He's not good. Get rid of him. I mean, he's not a good character
just not developing the character in a way that it's just like, what is the point in any of this? Yeah, you're just making this. It just feels very clunky to do crude things for whatever.
I can't believe I said that, because he's a nepotism baby as well. But they should have just kept him.
He looks old enough. Who is he?
David Tennant's
I think he did look old enough. Oh, is he? No, isn't David Tennant's son?
That's David Tennant's son.
Is that not new?
That is David Tennant's son.
Yeah.
I know, because David Tennant's considered like a national hero. Everyone calls him Tennant. I'm not joking on Twitter. They fucking love the kid. So I didn't want to like him, but I was like, no, he did a really good job.
Yeah, but who are you saying is... That's the new kid, right? The new actor for the...
No, the old one. The one who was wanking out the window.
Okay. Got it. And yes, now I see it.
He does look like him, I think, a little bit.
He does, yeah. Yep. Ty Tennant. Sorry. Hi.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Does anybody remember that song? I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make it. So don't you try and make it
anymore. Yeah, quintessential teen movie.
What teen movie was that in?
I honestly can't think of one, but it is the exact kind of song that would be in that like angsty teen movie.
I'm sure that was the Christian crossover indie band. Yeah.
What? Wait, who sings it?
I can't remember. Let's look it up. This is not a religious podcast. It's not even a
podcast. Disclaimer of all the things that this podcast is not.
I just always think that's funny. I think we're gonna. Sorry, I have to sing it to type it. Who's Buck Rogers? Please, I don't know what's going on. Okay, Feeder.
I thought it was Feeder. I'm just going to say it's Feeder. But they have Christian crossover. I don't
I'm
think
confusing my bands. They won. Oh my God, I'm definitely confusing my bands.
Yeah. I want to say, oh my God, no, let me look this up before I say it. Or maybe I'll just say it and then I'll just fall on my ass if it's wrong. Was Funeral for a Friend the crossover Christian
I
band?
Did not know that. There were a few sneaking around there.
Hold on, guys. This might be.
We're looking today. We explored the Christian indie crossover bands.
Today we try and say everybody started as a Christian.
Everybody met. Do you know who I think was religious?
I made it up.
What were they called? Who sang Milk? They sang Milk. Sex is on Fire.
Kings of Leon. Yes, they were a Christian. Well, their father was a preacher.
Oh, that's so different. Everyone's father was a preacher. Every musician worth their weight's father was a preacher. Oh my God. Oh, we do have fun, don't we?
Oh God.
Oh, the song is called Buck Rogers. Who's Buck Rogers?
Yeah, but Buck Rogers is a person, so who is it? Why did they call the song Buck Rogers Cast? So it's a film. It's a fucking... Oh my God, we know nothing about popular culture. NASA astronaut William Rogers meets with a freak accident causing his boy to be frozen in time. Scientists revive him during a nuclear war in 2491, after which he embarks on several adventures. The first episode aired in September 1979, and it was called Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
Wow, it sounds ahead of its time. Super.
You can watch it now on Apple TV for $1.89, probably per episode.
Keep it.
You can shove it up your...
Oh my God, not me really trying to find this band.
What, the Christian crossover?
They were good. They were good.
Okay,
God
well,
damn it.
We can
find them off there.
Try and find it and post it in the bio, maybe, if you ever find it.
We're already like really appealing to the right wings to not do it.
Yeah, it'll be lucky if that gets into an Instagram post or story.
No, I'll just send it on WhatsApp.
To me, not to anybody else. We do not have a WhatsApp blast out newsletter. So get excited, guys. Imagine if we were that good at growth marketing.
I don't think us and our two members would enjoy that awkward experience. Oh,
okay. I think we've said all we have to say on everything for this week. So on that note, I'm going to call it time of death.
R.I.P. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah. See you next week, guys. Bye.
Rewind the tape. Okay, that was really bad.